All right, guys. So the Utah Jazz lose in a real bad one to the Phoenix Suns. This is Hanson James, and this is the SLC Dunk post-game show. So, honestly, not a lot of good things to say about this game for the Jazz. I swear that we came into this game tired, and a major reason for that is the Jazz are on their second back-to-back in 5 games. To start the season, somehow the NBA scheduled us for two back-to-backs in our first 5 games. The Jazz have to be tired. I mean, honestly, if you probably do the numbers, it's like 2 days in between two back-to-backs. So it's almost like there's no rest in between. So that was something that's not helping us. But really, the real reason we lost this game, we had like 21 turnovers. We had something like a rebound margin of 51 or something like that for the Suns to 30-something for the Jazz. Just kind of got outworked, out hustled. The Jazz just could not find a way to control the ball. And we lost the game. It's really frustrating. And I had a lot of trash talking going on with the Suns during the game, Suns fans. And you know what, Jazz? I'm holding you accountable. My mentions are RIP tonight because of you. I'm so frustrated. But anyways, there's some things you've got to say about the Suns. For one thing, it's not lucky for the Jazz that they met with the Suns right after Earl Watson gets fired. It's just pretty common thing that teams that have kind of quit on a coach right after they get fired, it's almost like the team wants to prove they were right, and so they come out with extra fire. They play defense extra hard, and that's kind of what they did against the Jazz tonight. They just came out and had more fire than the Jazz, whether it was the Jazz were tired or not. They just looked quicker, stronger, faster, and better. And so that's part of the reason why the Jazz lost. We just kind of missed every little loose ball. Every rebound went the Suns' way, which a lot of that is just Suns players just working harder than the Jazz. Another thing is, how is it that TJ Warren is just the Jazz killer this year? I remember last season a couple games where TJ Warren just destroyed the Jazz. And during preseason, he jumps on Dante Exum's back and his shoulder pops out, and then now in this game he scores like 25 points. I hate TJ Warren so much. TJ Warren is going to haunt my dreams tonight. I don't know how I'm going to sleep because TJ Warren's going to be just like haunting me and haunting the Jazz. I mean, he's just really good, I guess. I don't know what it is. TJ Warren, the best player on the Suns. It's not Devin Booker, by the way. All you Suns fans who want to keep talking to me about Devin Booker, that guy does not win basketball games. It's like the Jazz were down by 16 or 18 points in the first half. Devin Booker comes back in after getting his first rest, and the Jazz got it within 8 to 10 points. That guy is, I don't know what the love affair is with Devin Booker. He can shoot the ball, and he finds a way to shoot. It just doesn't go in a lot. So I don't understand this love affair that Suns have with Devin Booker. The guy that always seems to destroy us is this TJ Warren guy. And so I hate TJ Warren. He's just a good ISO player, I guess. But for whatever reason, he shoots 25% from three, all year long. And then when he plays the Jazz, it's 90% from three. That's just what happens when he plays the Jazz. Apparently, he just like plays the Jazz, and the Jazz are like the sun to TJ Warren, like the sun is to Superman. Anyways, really bad loss for the Jazz tonight because honestly, this is a team that they should beat. The Suns are not a very good basketball team. The Jazz are not good enough to beat a lot of the best teams in the league with consistency. And so when you go against a Phoenix Suns team like this, you have to get these wins. Our defense has to hold up. And for the most part, our defense actually did pretty good. We just couldn't score a bucket. And part of that was the 21 turnovers. Ricky Rubio had 6 turnovers. Donovan was turning the ball over again, and that three-point shot was just not falling for him again. It's just going to take time. It's frustrating. You want that to happen for him, but man, that ball was just squirting out tonight, and the Jazz couldn't hold on to it. And it wasn't just Ricky Rubio. It wasn't just Donovan. It was everyone on the team. 21 turnovers for the team. That's killer. The Jazz got to the line a little bit. Rudy Gobert was hitting free throws. I think he had 6 in the game, so that's really exciting. They're actually calling fouls against players guarding Rudy Gobert. Remember, don't forget that Rudy Gobert went 2 games this season where they didn't call a foul against whoever was guarding him. It's preposterous to me that Rudy Gobert had 2 games in a row this year where he didn't even shoot a free throw. And I promise you Rudy Gobert's going to the rim. And I promise you he's getting fouled. If you rewatch these games, which I do, I watch about every game maybe 2 to 3 times because I don't know, I'm a weirdo and that's what I do in my free time is just rewatch Jazz games. But he gets fouled incessantly. And it's a lot of off the ball fouls. And if I'm the Jazz, one of the things I'm frustrated with, and I don't know how the referees are going to change this, and the Jazz are going to have to figure something out to fix it. But and it actually looked a lot better tonight, which was kind of exciting. But every time you see an opposing player come to the rim, you're seeing the big that Rudy's guarding is gripping him, is holding him. So that Blake Griffin dunk in the last night against the Jazz that everyone was putting everyone on, Sports Center and everywhere because Rudy didn't even try to block it, but somehow it's the greatest dunk that ever happened. What happened on that play is, watch it, you see for a split second, DeAndre Jordan grabs Rudy Gobert by the waist. And that split second, that quarter of a second pull is enough that Rudy doesn't have enough time to pull away and jump. And it actually keeps him from jumping. So that's happening a lot. And I've been watching it and it's happening. And the Jazz have to do something to maybe reposition Rudy in a way that he can guard both his player and the guy coming in, into the lane. Because it hasn't looked very good this year. And I wonder if teams are scouting it. And a lot of us are wondering, well, what is the matter with Rudy Gobert? Why is Rudy Gobert seeming to be a little slow? What it is he's just being scouted, is my guess. Maybe Rudy has some sort of tweak to his ankle or something like that that's causing him some issues, which is very possible. But I think also he's just being scouted. And if you see some of those things, watch Rudy. See if those guys are hooking his arm or pulling him back. It happens all the time. And I watched that play, and that's exactly what happened. DeAndre Jordan hooks Rudy Gobert around the waist for just that split second, just enough, and he's close enough that the ref can't see it, and Rudy's not able to get away. So I don't know if that's a strength issue, if that's just we need to find a way to reposition Rudy so he can get that driver to the hoop and protect the rim. But another problem, and I guess maybe some of these complaints aren't, all that important because the Jazz defense has actually still been really good. And here I am talking about defense. But the Jazz could use a little bit better rebounding. The 51 rebounds tonight for the Suns, out-rebounding us is crazy. I don't know how a team with Derek Favors and Rudy Gobert starting and playing a lot of minutes together gets out-rebounded. I don't know how that happens. And some of that you could say, well, Marquez Chris is playing the 4, Dragan Bender is playing the 4, getting Derek Favors out into the perimeter. And that is on Rudy, but Rudy had 14 rebounds tonight. We need a group rebounding effort. And I don't know if it's because players are trying to leak out to get our fast-paced offense going, which very well could be the reason. But there are times where you can't just depend on Rudy to get every single rebound, especially when he's guarding a player like Tyson Chandler. Tyson Chandler's not the player he used to be, but he's still a tough player, and he's still strong and going to get boards. Strong players get boards, and Tyson Chandler, you can tell that guy is just a load and a beast down inside that Rudy has to battle with the whole night. And so Rudy needs help. We need guards coming in to get rebounds and then outlet. So I don't know what the Jazz do there because, my goodness, there were a lot of offensive rebounds for the Suns tonight that turned into a bucket. And that's killer. Part of defense, and a major part of defense, is getting the defensive rebound. Because what happens, you have this whole defensive possession that you get people in the half court, and if you don't grab the defensive rebound is the closure of the possession. But if you don't get that rebound, what it does is it creates chaos, and chaos is where your defense can fall apart sometimes. So you have your half court off defense, you do everything right, you do everything perfectly, you get them to take a mid-range shot, they miss it. If you don't get that rebound, it's not a complete possession, So the Jazz have to figure something out to just get the rebounds a little better, and I don't think it's just tonight that's kind of an issue. We're seeing a little bit that in the other games too, and I don't, it could just be, honestly, this is our 5th game and we've had 2 back-to-backs. That could very well be what the issue is, but I don't know. Either way, we got out-rebounded and we got to figure it out. I'm not quite sure what to say with this loss, guys. The Phoenix Suns just were a better team tonight. They made shots. I'm still mad that I talked trash to Suns fans, and then the Suns fans came back to win the game. It makes me so mad. I will never forgive you, Jazz. Just kidding. I love you forever. Just some other thoughts. Alec Burks didn't get into the game, which is interesting. We might have been able to use some of his scoring. but Alec Burks wasn't particularly great last game. So maybe maybe something's wrong with Alec not feeling. I don't know. He didn't play, and I didn't see him on the injury report. Maybe he was. I don't know. But Alec Burks didn't play the game, and we could have used some of his scoring. I would like to see a little bit of Jerebko. I know that people have said, like, well, who's he going to replace on the roster? And obviously he's not going to be coming in to take minutes from Udo, who's been fantastic this year. But I'm not kidding when I say that I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of Jerebko for Favors. Tonight, Joe Johnson had one of those nights where he wasn't hitting shots, just one of those nights. On a back-to-back, maybe we can rest Joe Johnson, because I think this is a theme with Joe that he doesn't always play that well on a back-to-back. I would like to see a little bit of Jerebko just to get that stretch big on the floor and see what we can do with that, because I think that might open up things inside for us. One of the problems on our offense that you see a lot is that we just have two bigs that end up closing in on the rim, and it's just a clogged lane. And really just one of the flaws of just this team's offense is we don't have a big-time driver to the rim to score. Gordon Hayward would do that, and Gordon Hayward would get to the line. But, I mean, who on this team is a big-time finisher on our starting unit? Rodney Hood's not someone who drives to the rim and finishes all the time. He's more of a shooter, and he does that mid-range pull-up. Ricky Rubio's the same way, and he's a pass-first point guard, so he's looking to give the ball to the bigs, Favors and Rudy. And then you've got Joe Ingles, who at times will drive to the rim, but he's not someone that really draws fouls. Joe Ingles, honestly, when he drives to the hoop, he finishes. He's one of the best finishers in the league, which is another reason why Joe Ingles is the greatest. And let's talk about Joe Ingles just a little bit. Another reason this team might have lost this game is how important Joe Ingles is to this team. I mean, it's not a coincidence that Joe scores 19 points and we blow out OKC. And Joe had a big game against Denver as well. Joe's dealing with the flu, and that really it hurts because he's probably our best wing. He's a great defender, great passer, great shooter, and just, he's playing with the flu. He played 15 minutes last night, and it didn't go well. One day later, after, playing with the flu and all these things, it didn't go well. So, another thing that's hurting us is Joe Ingles. And I tell you what, one thing I would tell Joe Ingles is please shoot the ball, Joe. If you're watching this, please just shoot the ball. I don't care if you miss it a million times. If you shoot the ball, it's a better shot than almost every other shot that we're going to take on this team. How many times did we see Joe Ingles pass up a three-point shot, and it either ends up as another shot that's not very good or a turnover? It happened like 3 times tonight. I promise you that a Joe Ingles three-point shot, even if it's relatively contested, is a much better shot than any other shot we're going to take in our offensive system. When you have a three-point shooter like Joe Ingles who can shoot 45 to 50% from three, and on corner threes, he's like a 60% three-point shooter. But even on the perimeter, on the corners and the wings and top of the key, that's a better shot than anything else we're going to get. If he's even slightly open, that's the best shot we're going to get. And so I just wish, and I know it's just not a part of Joe Ingles' makeup. It's hard. It's like telling Stockton to be a shoot first guard. Joe Ingles has that same mentality, and so when he passes up those threes, it's killer. It's absolutely killer because it's the most efficient, most effective shot we're going to take. Let's scroll down here. Leighton Walton. Rudy got to the line more last year because he would get the ball off the bounce when rolling in PNR. Ricky has been trying to give it at him over the top of the defense, leaving less room to bring the ball up and be fouled. I actually agree with that, Leighton. And I don't know what it is, but there are times where those passes from Ricky to Rudy have not been great. And I don't know if there's just a chemistry thing that they need to just keep figuring it out. But it might be just difficult having Favors and Rudy on the same floor with Rubio, who's trying to make these pocket passes. It's just really difficult, and it might be asking Rubio to do an impossible thing. I'm not sure. But what we've got to do with this offense is just find a way to get enough space so that Ricky and Rudy can operate and get some pick and rolls going, because that really is one of our best plays. Honestly, our offense, to me, if the Jazz don't care what I think. But if they asked me, I would say I want to see a Rudy Ricky Rubio pick and roll almost every single time. And if it's not there, pass out to the wing to either Rodney Hood or Joe Ingles. And that should be honestly our bread and butter, is just run that incessantly. Because Rudy had like 14, let's see, I'll pull it up. But Rudy scored like 14, 15 points tonight and was very effective in the pick and roll. You know, Rudy Gobert is one of our best offensive players, and people seem to have to be reminded of that. And maybe the thing is it's going to be rough for Rudy and Ricky to be able to do that when we have Favors, who is flaring out, and that's why Favors is getting that top of the key jump shot. It's to create space to also have that pick and roll with Rudy, who goes to the rim. But it's still rough, and to make that effective, Favors really has to be a knockdown on that mid-range shot, and it's not always falling. And so that's what's rough with that. Let's see. So Rudy Gobert, 36 minutes, 16 points, 14 rebounds, 5 blocks. I mean, those are monster numbers, guys. You can't lay this on Rudy Gobert. He's really giving everything he's got, you know. This was just a game where we had too many turnovers and we got out-rebounded. But Rudy got 14 boards, 13 defensive rebounds. We need more rebounds from other players. Derek Favors had 5 rebounds. I'm not going to kill him for that. Joe Ingles, 6 rebounds. So that's pretty good, honestly. But when you look at our guards, 1 rebound for Rodney Hood, 2 rebounds for Ricky Rubio, 2 rebounds for Cephalosha, 1 rebound. Oh, it looks like Joe had 6. Yeah, Joe had 6. Joe Johnson, 6 rebounds. Our guards didn't rebound tonight, you know. And on a night like this, you may need that. And if we didn't have it, we got out-rebounded. But credit to the Suns, honestly. They played really well. They hit a lot of shots. They have a lot of talent. They've had enough lottery picks that they should have some talent. But, you know, they were hitting shots. TJ Warren went crazy and really did well. Let's just look at what TJ Warren did. TJ Warren, 27 minutes, 27 points, 60% from the field. That's really good. 5 rebounds, 1 assist. So TJ Warren was out getting buckets tonight. That's basically what happened. You stop TJ Warren and you find a way to win this game. You rebound, you don't turn over the ball. Jazz need to regroup and figure some things out. Honestly, I hope we simplify our offense just a little bit. I don't know if it needs... our defense has been really good. It's been really, really good. And the efficiency has been there. But the fact that the offense just is struggling to hit shots right now is killing us. And it makes it really hard for the offense to play, or for the defense to just be that good for 48 minutes is really tough when you're not seeing the ball go in the hoop on the other end. It's got to be disheartening and just tiring. And so we've got to figure some things out offensively to just improve the team overall. Anyways, we'll figure it out. Next game, let's hope the Jazz can figure out a way to beat the Lakers on Saturday. They need to take some rest, I guess. Obviously. Remember, like, subscribe. Tell me what you think in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the SLC Punks podcast on Apple Podcasts. Comment below. Share with your friends. I'll talk to you later.